Do you still remember the feeling of pushing open that door for the first time? Whether it was the heavy casino door, pulled open by a doorman, with plush carpets underfoot and the air thick with expensive cologne and cigar smoke, or those countless sleepless nights when your fingertip lightly tapped an app, instantly bursting into infinite brilliance on your phone screen. That moment feels strikingly similar. You feel like an astronaut breaking free from the orbit of mundane life, instantly entering a weightless, thrilling new dimension full of endless possibilities. The world spins at your fingertips on the roulette wheel or flows between the dealer's hands as they deal the cards. You're no longer the ordinary person hustling through life, scolded by your boss, or worrying about bills. Here, you sit at the same table as billionaires with equal opportunities. Your identity is reduced to a single code name, player. The heartbeat when you win, that chemical reaction of ecstasy mixed with disbelief, surges from your heart through every capillary in your body, making you feel invincible. This sensation is too exhilarating. It hits faster than the sense of achievement from a month's hard-earned salary, more intensely than the satisfaction of completing a complex project, even more thrilling than the sweetest moment of love. It's a primal, instantly gratified desire for conquest. This is the entrance it meticulously designs for you. A promised land that seems brimming with opportunity, wealth, excitement, and endless possibilities. But we all know deep down that every gift fate hands you has a price tag already marked in the shadows. This isn't paradise. It's the topmost, most lavishly decorated entrance hall to the abyss. Its way of destroying you is never as crude as making you lose everything on the first day and then waking up in a flash of clarity. That's too low-level, too obvious. Its brilliance lies in one word: steal. It's like an extraordinarily skilled and infinitely patient thief. It doesn't rush to empty your house in one go. Instead, it takes a book from your desk today, a painting from your wall tomorrow, and a bit of cash the day after. Bit by bit, it silently steals everything you once cherished in life. And for a long time, not only do you fail to notice, but you might even feel grateful for the occasional crumbs it leaves behind, willingly offering up everything you have. The first thing it steals is your basic understanding and respect for money. Everyone who steps into a casino might start with the simplest, most modest intentions. Maybe you just want to win a lavish dinner with $100 or score the latest phone with 1,000. You're cautious, setting a stop-loss line, telling yourself it's just entertainment. But once the game begins, the physical form and value of money start to peel away rapidly. A thick stack of crisp, inky-smelling cash in your hand has weight. You can clearly calculate how many days of rent it covers or how many pounds of rice it buys. But when it's exchanged for a pile of colorful, smooth plastic chips, it loses all connection to real life. It's no longer money. It's just a tool, your health points, or ammunition in the game world. You grow numb to numbers. 10,000 in cash might make you double-check at the bank counter. But at the gambling table, it's just a chip you toss out in frustration. 100,000 is a year or two of savings for an average family. $1 million could cover a down payment on a house in a small city, fundamentally changing a family's trajectory. But in the game, these numbers are just fuel to keep your heart racing for a few more seconds, to let you linger a bit longer at the table. You start measuring money in stacks or units, casually saying, "I lost 30 last night," as if it's not 300,000 but 30 arcade tokens. Your perception of money is thoroughly, ruthlessly warped and destroyed in these bets and tosses. Next, it steals your most precious asset, time. A normal, non-gambler's life is clearly marked by societal coordinates. You know to rise with the sun and rest at dusk. You know Monday to Friday is for work, weekends for family. You know when your child's parent-teacher meeting is or your parents' birthdays. Your time has meaning, tied to the people who love you and whom you love. But for a gambler, these coordinates vanish. In their world, there's no day or night, only loading up or cashing out. No spring, summer, fall, or winter, only winning streaks or losing streaks. Have you ever experienced this? At the computer or the gambling table, you feel like only an hour or two has passed. But when you look up, the window has gone from pitch black to the faint glow of dawn. You stand up, your body stiff from sitting too long, your neck and spine groaning in protest, but your brain is still racing, obsessively replaying that last hand. Did you call the wrong bet, or should you have gone all in? You check your phone and see messages from hours ago. Dinner's in the pot. Remember to eat. Missed calls from friends. Urgent work notifications waiting for your reply. For a fleeting moment, you feel panic and guilt. But that feeling is quickly drowned by the lure of the next game. You miss your child's growth, forget promises to your partner, and delay that critical project that could define your career. Your entire world shrinks infinitely, reduced to a gambling table or a few inches of phone screen. What's happening outside, who won the election where an earthquake struck, is just distant noise. Your life, the precious time meant for learning, creating, loving, and experiencing, is willingly traded for a meaningless, repetitive, doomed cycle of wins and losses. Then, once your sense of value and time have been eroded, it takes the most lethal step, stealing your personality and soul. This is a slow, torturous process, the beginning of your social death. At first, it's just small, harmless lies to cover up your gambling. Working late tonight, having dinner with friends, you tell yourself, it's no big deal. But as the debt grows, your lies must become more intricate, bolder. You start fabricating wild excuses to borrow money from family and friends. Failed investments, a friend in need, medical emergencies. You burn through all the trust you've built over a lifetime, squandering it like a prodigal son. You watch your parents hand over their hard-earned pension, your partner max out their credit card to bail you out, your friends transfer money out of trust. Your heart isn't without struggle, but the desire to break even, like a venomous thorn, pierces the deepest part of you, making it impossible to turn back. When you've exhausted everyone who trusts you, you inevitably slide into a darker abyss. You turn to channels you once despised, predatory online loans, underground lenders with astronomical interest rates. Your contacts and privacy become collateral for your debts. Your phone is no longer yours. It could ring at any moment with debt collectors hurling the vilest insults at you and your loved ones. To fund your bets, you'll stop at nothing, even turning to crime. You become selfish, paranoid, irritable, and gloomy. When you win, you feel like the king of the world, spending lavishly, treating others, basking in hollow admiration, mocking those who live by the rules as fools. When you lose, you become the world's most pitiable victim, blaming everyone and everything. Cheating casinos, bad luck, others betraying you, absolving yourself of all responsibility. The principled, loyal, family-loving, ethical you is slowly worn down and stripped away in this daily grind of gambling, leaving only a distorted shell torn apart by greed, luck, unwillingness, and regret. You become the kind of person you once despised. When you think this is just your personal fall and tragedy, you underestimate its power. The true horror of gambling lies in its destruction of one world after another, worlds that collectively form the larger world we all depend on. Your family is the first world it destroys. A gambler in the family brings far more than poverty and arguments. 1,000,000 times worse is the bone-deep, deathly silence. It's the child coming home from school, seeing the house turned upside down, not daring to ask what happened, quietly retreating to their room to do homework. It's your partner, late at night, pretending to sleep but hearing your suppressed, desperate sobs or the sound of you hitting yourself after losing everything again. It's the family sitting at the dinner table, no one speaking, each weighed down by their own thoughts, the suffocating silence enough to drive anyone mad. The home, meant to be the warmest, safest haven in the world, becomes a battlefield of lies, debts, fear, and suspicion. A cold prison. A gambler is like a cancer cell in a family, rapidly spreading, draining generations of wealth, emotions, and trust until the family's entire function collapses into death. This destruction is contagious. When a gambler exhausts their immediate family's resources, they reach out to siblings, friends, colleagues, spreading misfortune and disaster like a plague across wider social circles. They are no longer an individual but a source of calamity radiating outward. Zoom out further, and you'll see it eroding the entire society we live in on a macro level. Do you think the money you lose simply flows from your pocket to a luckier winner or the platform providing the service? No, you're dead wrong. That money, like billions of invisible underground rivers, ultimately flows into the darkest, dirtiest corners of the world. It becomes the easiest tool for transnational crime syndicates to launder money, fertile soil nourishing violent debt collection, illegal detention, underground lending, and drug trafficking. Those seemingly glamorous, government-licensed mega-casinos and the online platforms hiding in the depths of the internet with servers overseas are, at their core, massive wealth-grinding machines. Their sole purpose is to suck money that could have been used to buy goods, invest in businesses, improve lives, or raise the next generation from the real economy into this valueless capital black hole. It destroys a society's fundamental economic vitality. Imagine a city where 10,000 people each lose $100 a day. That's $1 million. That million, if not funneled into gambling, could have been the revenue for 1,000 small restaurants, covered utility bills for hundreds of families, funded dozens of small businesses, or bought new clothes and school bags for kids. It would circulate in the real economy, creating jobs and value. But when it flows into the gambling black hole, it vanishes instantly, enriching only the house and its shadowy backers while contributing nothing to society. Worse, it's a negative contribution. It's like a pump draining the lifeblood of an economy day and night. On a deeper level, it destroys a society's core values. What drives human progress? The belief that effort yields rewards, that creation brings value, that knowledge and skills can change destinies. These are positive, upward, constructive values. Gambling, however, promotes the exact opposite, a decadent, destructive mindset. It convinces people they can gain without effort, that a single bet can decide their fate, that others' failures are their success. When this speculative mentality spreads like a virus, when more people sink into the illusion of overnight riches, who will bother with the tedious but necessary work? Who will believe in the craftsman's decade-long dedication? Who will pursue scientific research requiring years of investment for uncertain returns? The societal foundation, those ancient virtues of diligence, integrity, and creation, is quietly eroded and dismantled by this seemingly harmless entertainment. We naively think we're betting against luck or competing with other players at the table. That's perhaps gambling's biggest lie. From the moment you sit at the table or open that app, your only true opponent is the house. And the house isn't a person. It's a cold, perfectly rational system designed by the sharpest mathematicians, psychologists, and programmers. Behind it lies the unshakable law of probability and centuries-proven human weaknesses. The house doesn't fear your wins. It welcomes them, even expects them. Every small victory is a dose of anesthetic, fueling the illusion that I can win. Your wins are its brightest neon sign, luring more people like you to step inside. It gives you hope, gets you hooked, drives you to raise the stakes under a rush of adrenaline, pushing your limits. Then, at your most frenzied, irrational, self-proclaimed destined moment, it reveals its cold, emotionless face and crushes you and your chips to dust with the hammer of probability. This system masterfully employs countless psychological tricks. Take the gambler's fallacy, also known as the Monte Carlo fallacy. You see the roulette will land on red 10 times in a row, and your brain screams, "It can't be red again, the next one has to be black." The feeling is so strong, so intuitive. But the truth is, each spin is an independent event, and the chance of black is always around 50%, just as it was for the last 10,000 spins. Your intuition is worthless against cold probability. Yet countless people, driven by this flawed instinct, lose everything, always believing it's about to change. There's an even more insidious design, the near-miss effect. You're playing slots and 2 sevens line up, but the third stops 1 slot above. You're 1 number off the lottery jackpot. This almost feeling is 100 times more painful than a total loss, but also 100 times more stimulating. Your brain pumps out dopamine, interpreting it not as a failure but as an encouraging signal that next time will work. These near misses are meticulously engineered by algorithms in online platforms and casinos. Hooks and bait that drag you back into the game when your willpower is at its weakest. Some might say, I don't play those luck-based games. I play skill-based ones like poker or sports betting, where analysis, strategy, and skill matter. That's another, more sophisticated trap the house sets for you. The illusion of control. Yes, skill can influence a single game's outcome. A pro can beat a novice. But this creates the illusion that I can beat the odds with skill. You overlook the critical point. As long as you're playing in the house's arena, they take a cut. They skim a fixed percentage from every pot. This rake is their mathematical edge. Even if you're evenly matched with other players over time, everyone's money flows steadily to the house. Your skill might let you take money from other players, but you'll never beat the house's guaranteed profit rake. Your so-called skill becomes your greatest weakness, fueling your arrogance, making you believe you're different, trapping you deeper and longer in this negative-sum game. In the end, when all your resources are depleted, all trust shattered, a gambler faces more than financial ruin. It's a far worse, all-encompassing collapse of life. The chronic stress leads to severe insomnia, heart disease, and hormonal imbalances. Lies exposed, you're abandoned by everyone, facing the social death of being forsaken by the world. A record of bad credit or a criminal history makes your future an uphill battle. You can no longer view a steady job with normal eyes because gambling's cheap. Intense thrills have rewired your brain's reward system. You're a hollowed-out ruin, and even if the gambling stops, the broken walls and toxic dust will haunt the rest of your life. Its way of destroying the world isn't like a war, flattening a city with a dramatic explosion. It's more like termites, silently gnawing from the smallest beam, from the inside, eroding the foundation of every family, the vitality of every bit of social capital, and everyone's belief in beauty and order. So, when another late night arrives, and you're staring at the cold numbers on your phone screen or clutching your last few chips, asking yourself, what exactly did I lose? The answer is painfully clear. You didn't just lose quantifiable money. You lost your parents' hopes for their old age and their pension, your partner's love and dreams for the future, your child's carefree childhood and chance at a good education. You lost all the possibilities in your life. The you who could have been a great doctor, a loving father, a reliable friend, a successful entrepreneur. You killed that version of yourself in the delusion of one more bet to break even. You lost the life you could have had, an entirely different one. You lost your inner peace, the right to fall asleep calmly at night, the feeling of waking up in the morning filled with hope instead of fear. And there are countless yous out there. The collective downfall and destruction of countless yous forms a world once full of hope, silently crumbling into collapse. You killed it. You lost the entirely different life you could have had. And there are countless yous out there. The collective downfall and destruction of countless yous forms a world once full of hope, silently crumbling into collapse.